or pronouns or anything like that, that's parental authority.
Yes.
And then on top of that, when we say we want to have a stake in the curriculum, they tell us to butt out because we're not teachers and we don't know enough. Well, I am a teacher, so, but they're still telling me to butt out because I have no business. Or they'll say, well, go to your SBDM meeting. That's where you can contribute. Well, again, Miranda has been to many SBDM meetings. Not once has she heard a mention of curriculum. So they're definitely trying to shut parents out of this conversation. It's the administration too. There are a handful of teachers who feel this way, but I would say that more than anything, it's the administration, the teachers unions that are trying to keep parents out of. There are schools across the country who are allowing students to go by one name at school and not sharing that with their parents. There was a mom who just testified in front of her school board that the school had put her 13-year-old daughter through a gender transitioning program without letting the parents know at all. I mean, so yeah, I definitely think we're at a stage where public schools, government schools are usurping their authority over parents' authority. And there's just no place for that at all. I understand that these teachers go to school and they're trained to educate children. They are not trained to be therapists for children. They are not trained to make medical decisions for our children. Right. They are not trained to counsel them in any of these areas. And yes. They need to leave those things to parents. So that was one of our huge starting points with No Left Turn in Education was parental authority. So many of these decisions need to be left to parents. So,
I have to admit, I've seen a couple of interviews and I was stunned when a teacher was arguing that, he was flat out arguing that it's not the parent's role to dictate to him what to teach. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, you crossed the line right there. It's almost as if they're stating indirectly, and maybe I'm taking this too far, but it's like the government is saying, no, those children, your children are mine. They belong to me. And I heard echoes of that. I learned echoes of that when I learned about Stalinist Russia, when I learned about Hitler's Germany. Mm-hmm. Their attitude was that, no, they don't respect the parental authority. They knew more. Big government knew more, knew better than the parents did.
Right. Yeah. And there was a time where, I know when my kids were in elementary school, we had a phenomenal principal there and the door was open to us. We were there. Mm-hmm. When I finally did start working there, my husband said, you may as well work there. You're there all the time. May as well get paid for it. We were there all the time. They were very welcoming to parents. Parents have been shut out. They've been shut out of schools. They've been shut out of school board meetings. They have been shut out of every aspect of it. We have SBDMs, which are supposed to help parents have a voice, but there's 2 parents to 3 teachers. We have one school here in JCPS where the 2 teacher representatives also happen to be, the 2 parent representatives also happen to be teachers at another school in JCPS. So that means every member of that SBDM works for JCPS. Mm. So parents' voices are definitely being shut out. And then we start pushing for House Bill 9, which, will allow the funds to follow the students and give parents options if their government schools aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they feel like their child needs a different learning environment and they want to shut that down. The teachers unions are very much opposed to that. So they don't want us to have input. They don't want us to be involved, and they don't want us to have an escape route. And I say us, I've pulled my child out of government school, but I do work with students who would definitely benefit from House Bill 9 because their parents are making great sacrifices to choose other options for them right now because their public schools were not serving their needs. So it would definitely be a great help to them. And there are so many children out there like that who really need other options.
And House Bill 9 it's not saying that, hey, everybody's got to do something. They're just saying, hey, we're going to give you this option. That's what we're just giving you this. If you want to take it, fine. If you don't want to take it, fine. And yet people are opposed to that.
House Bill 9 says that parents, not the government, are able to choose the best learning environment for their children. That might be a public school. That might be homeschool. That might be a private school, and it might be a charter school. But the going back to parental authority, parents know their children way better than the government, and they know what is best for their child, and they can make that decision. Now, it's been proven in many, many states that public schools are still alive and well in all of the states where similar legislation has passed. So it's not like there's this mass exodus from public schools. And that was one of the arguments yesterday, that this will just funnel money away from public schools. But why would giving families options funnel money away from public schools? If public schools are doing what they're supposed to be doing,
yes,
and nobody's going to leave, right?
Right.
So we don't have anything to worry about if our public schools are as good as some would have us believe. And if there's not, then why not? And then, well, we won't go into those who send their kids to private schools and then argue against giving families a choice. They're basically trapping low-income families into these schools in order to prop up a system. So because someone said yesterday, well, if families leave, then who's going to pay for the buses and who's going to pay for the heating and I'm like, so you're relying on low income families to do that? Because upper income families, wealthy people have always had a choice. They could always pull their kid out and yes. do other things. Even middle class families, I think, could do other things. I know some who have chosen to do homeschool, made sacrifices to be able to homeschool, mm-hmm. but it's the low income families. It's the single parent working 2 jobs to make ends meet who doesn't have an option. And if their child isn't reading by 4th grade, they're still stuck in that same school that's just moving them through the system. So basically all of these teachers unions and legislators that are railing against House Bill 9 are choosing to trap low income families in failing learning environments and not give them an option otherwise.
Well, we need to conclude here. You threw a lot of meat on the table there. I just thought I was going to get a little salad. You're going to ruin my diet. Yeah. Can't be
this is weighty. This is
it is. You can't be no vegetarian when you speak to you. Get that. Oh my goodness. So again, thank you so much. But before you go, tell my listeners one more time how they can reach you.
Yeah. So if you need to contact me, you can email kentucky@noleftturn.us. So that's an email you can reach me at. We have a Facebook page, No Left Turn Kentucky. Okay. And again, we have public and private. So you can either join the private group or just watch from afar if you want to do the public post thing. And then we also have our national website, noleftturn.us.
All right, sis. Thank you so much. Please, let's keep in touch because
Absolutely.
I do want you guys back on the show. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
sister.